You've got it tuned in to MSI Music Scene Investigation. We're glad everybody has decided to join us today on the broadcast. Rich Wildman here. If you're not familiar with what we do on MSI, I'll tell you a little bit about it. What we'll do is take and bring indie music artist music, that's the music indie music artists make, in front of a panel of industry experts, and we'll have them offer their review of those songs. After they hear it one time only, they have no idea who the artist is, what the name of the song is, the genre, or anything like that. So you're guaranteed to get a unbiased, honest review. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I can tell you that each and every week we bring guys in on the panel and gals, and we just have a ball. And we certainly hope you do as well. We look forward to bringing it to you each and every week. We did an MSI hit list last week. If you weren't able to hear it live, you can't hear it at all because we forgot to record it.
Sorry, who? We?
Yeah, no. I'll admit it was me. It was I.
I can't leave you guys alone for a minute.
I know.
Well, that's another bone of contention, and we didn't even know you weren't going to be there.
Well, neither did I.
It's
Blame
okay.
AT&T.
Yeah, no.
It's okay. But anyway, if you missed it live, you missed it. It's the lost episode. If anybody out there happened to have recorded it, it might be worth something someday. Probably not.
My wife was on it and everything.
Really?
She was on the show, Rich, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was. But
Yes.
I'm just saying, I thought you said she recorded it.
No.
I was hoping that she might have, but...
There's problems turning the TV channels over.
Okay, well, we live and we lose, and we live and we love, and it's all the same to me. Never mind. All right, on today's broadcast, 3 new songs go in front of the panel. We're really looking forward to that. Certainly hope you are too. Before we get to that, we've got to introduce our panel, 2 of which you've already met, but you're going to meet a new panelist today, and we're pleased as punch that they're here. First of all, let's go over and meet Tom Chianti. Tom, how you doing, buddy? Glad you're back in the saddle.
Hey, it feels good. The saddle fits, and the horse is actually nay whinnying.
What?
Please send translations to msi.icweekly.net.
Yeah, if anybody out there can translate anything Tom says, please.
Well, I was speaking horse. Nay, whinny.
Okay, well, how are things in New York, nay, whinny?
It's a beautiful day, whinny, and went for a nice little walk. Still waiting for just 4 pieces of wood to complete my new mixing desk so I can put the new mixing board in and online.
Well, I hope they get there early this coming week so you can get that done.
Yes, everything in time, and this is taking more time than I had originally planned, but oh well.
Well, we're glad that you're back with us, and certainly hope you're feeling better as well. I want to go over to Ian Husbands in London, England. You know, Ian, Tom's got this hey, ninny, whatever thing going on. I think that could be beating Snoop Dogg's snizzle, shizzle stuff language he does. What do you think?
Well, I'm certainly thinking it could be beating I'm a big head, I'm a very big head.
A new song.
Hey now, ninny, way, hey now, I'm a big head, I'm a big head.
All right, well, there you go.
Maybe a remix. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, something new anyway. So, Ian, how are you? How things been going where you're at?
Yeah, busy. Lots going on over here. Videos being made and music's being tracked and kids being looked after and Legoland and things like that being visited. Do you like my T-shirt?
I do like your T-shirt, by the way. Apes, Pigs, and Spacemen. And by the way, if you don't know about it, everybody should start following them on Twitter.
Indeed. I think it's Apes Pigs, at Apes Pigs.
You'll have to look it up.
I would have to look it up. But yeah, I designed this.
You did.
It's my work, you see.
Very nicely done.
It's
got apes, pigs, and then a little Martian dude.
Well, that'll be a spaceman then.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. I wondered apes, pigs, and the little Martian dude would probably be too long to fit on a bill.
No, that's a different group.
Oh, totally different group. Gotcha. So, Ian, you have some statistics from last week's broadcast when we had Halfway, Lockstar, and Mark Anthony Clennon with his infamous track number 2. So why don't you give us some of those stats?
Well, the stats are really easy this week, actually, because the audience totally agreed with us on Lockstar, Killer and Sin. So thank you very much.
And Stepdaddy out in the chat room is asking whether or not Apes, Pigs, and Spacemen are still playing.
Well, they're kind of having a bit of a reformation. Paul's been doing a lot of his solo stuff, but there's still a lot of interest in the Apes. And they've been going out and doing a few acoustic gigs, and they've got a few festivals coming up with a bit of a new lineup. But yeah, sort of playing the transfusion stuff and the snapshot stuff and the free porn stuff. And they've just got a Twitter page sorted out and a Facebook page sorted out. So they're getting it back on. There's that sort of bit of a 90s research going on, and people are still interested. So
excellent. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I really am. And I want to say a big hello out there to Janae Giddens, the host of Toon Talks out on the internet. It's her first time in the chat room. So, hey, how you doing?
And Liz as well, Pinky's wife.
And Liz as well, sure.
And everyone, hello.
Yeah, hello to everyone. I do want to say hello to our guest panelist as well on today's broadcast. We have a new guest panelist joining us. The bio I have in front of me right now lets me know that he has a music blog, a music industry blog. It's called Failed Muso. It's at failedmuso.com. Rob Purichelli is with us today. Hey, Rob, how are you, man?
I'm very well. Thank you very much for inviting me.
I am so happy to see you here today and glad to have you on the broadcast with us. Now, I want to find out a little bit about you. Now, according to what I have in the bio here, and I like to dig a little deeper, it says you were originally a drummer. You've been obsessed with music technology from a very early age. And it also tells me in this that you were in a number of bands but had bad experiences in. What can you go through and tell me about that stuff?
I think anybody that's been in a band will know that one of the biggest problems is ego, because you've got a bunch of guys and girls on stage who want to perform, and they want to get up in front of a lot of people and play music and get the enjoyment from it, but also get the adulation and that kind of feeling that it gives you. It's a buzz. It's like a drug. And you get certain people that go that little bit too far. And the experiences I've had, I wouldn't say all of them have been bad, but I've had some bad ones and some major fallings out. And it's the repercussions of that. And it just got very tiring. And I just got to a point where I didn't want to massage somebody's ego more than was necessary, really. And I apologize now in advance to any lead singers out there, but it does seem to be those that have the biggest egos. But then they are the guys or the girls at the front of the band and maybe the focus of the attention. And one might say that pressure is on them to perform. And I'm just a lowly drummer at the back, the knuckle dragging ape, drooling from one side of his mouth. And but yeah, I
had start on drummer jokes, Rob.
I've got some bass player ones as well. They're really good. But that was my experience, and I got to a point after a particularly nasty and bitter experience with a band where I was. The ironic thing was, I had taken a day job on that meant that sometimes I might get called out at very short notice. So I suggested, foolishly, that we had a mutual friend who was also a drummer, that maybe we could keep him on standby. And it turns out they decided to have him full-time rather than me, and use some nasty underhand tactics to let me go. And if they'd have just come out and said, we don't want you anymore, that would have been fine. But they didn't, and it was all a bit nasty. And I've never played in the band since. And I miss it, actually.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll start up an online band just here and now, and it'll just be the four of us. We'll have Tommy mixing and producing and stuff like that. And I'll just sit back and look pretty.
And I'll be on lead ego.
Yeah, and you'll be the big ego we have to deal with.
So you're being the bass ego.
So, no, I want to talk about your fascination with music technology, because you've taken that and evolved it into a job, which a lot of people wish they could do. You've actually started working with companies such as Akai, Alesis, HoloSun, GeForce Software, and others, where you're working with them as a consultant, as a beta tester, among other things. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that, how you got into that, and where it's evolved to?
Well, the ironic thing is the blog, as you mentioned, is called Failed Muso, and that name came about because I needed a name to when I was creating the website, and I thought, well, what describes me best? And I thought, well, I'm a muso. I appreciate music, making it, listening to it, consuming it, and so I'm a muso. So that was part of it. And then I thought, well, I've not really been successful, so ergo I failed. So then Failed Muso came in, and so I started the blog, and I started just writing about my experiences, doing reviews of technology. And because I'd kind of withdrawn from that whole live performance thing, I was using more and more technology, because I'm a drummer. I can only do, a few things at a time. I can't do it all. So I was using computers and software. And so the blog very quickly evolved into something that was reviewing equipment and reviewing software. And that put me in touch with some really cool people. So, for example, I got to know Dave Spears from GeForce Software, and, we've become really good friends. And I then, started to get contact from people who I looked up to as true legends and heroes, certainly in music technology terms. And these guys started saying, well, could you maybe review our products? Could you help test our products? Could you try things out? And it was, I often describe myself, and I guess this term is probably only going to be recognized by the Brits among us, but I'm a blagger, which means I'm certainly not backwards in coming forwards when, asking for things. And, I won't try and, I get in touch with the company and say, I really want to try your product, and I'll write a review, but can you please send me a copy? And most of the time, these guys will send you a copy. And so I then start making relationships that way, and they blossom into things that allow me to, get in on the inside, for example, and beta test their applications. So I help out with GeForce Software, beta testing their Reason rack extensions, because that's something I'm very into, propeller head Reason. So Dave came to me and said, you're a Reason guy, right? We're going to do rack extensions. What do you think of this? And then I started making presets as well for their Retron rack extension. So if you have that, there's a number of presets in there that were mine, which I'm very proud of actually achieving. But the pinnacle was when I was approached completely out of the blue by Peter Vogel. And Peter Vogel, as hopefully most of you will know, is one half of the two guys that invented the Fairlight CMI.
Right.
And I've been a massive Fairlight fan since I saw one on TV in the early 80s. This big gleaming white machine that could do everything and anything, and just looked like the future, and that was it. I was sold, but of course, I could never afford one. And Peter got in touch because he'd heard from someone that I'd got this blog, and I'd posted a lot of things about Fairlight, and could I help out in archiving material for him? And then he said, could I produce some stuff for the iOS apps that he was doing? So I produced the promotional videos for that, and did some other work, and on and off I've done stuff for him. And that's just an incredible honor, to meet someone who's up there with the likes of Bob Moog, right, in my opinion. And to get to know him as a personal friend is a massive honor. And not just him, but his wife and his family. It's a very, very nice thing to happen. So the ironic thing is that this failed muso is now kind of a little bit successful because of that, the whole failed muso thing. So it's great, and just happening across certain people like Steve Howell, who's the guy behind HoloSun. Now Steve Howell is a legend in the background because he was Akai's chief sample man back when Akai were a Japanese company, and I literally stumbled across him on the internet when I was looking for samples for my Akai rack samplers. We hit it off as good friends, and we've been friends ever since. And he got me into helping out with Akai and Alesis and various other bits and bobs. And if I look around my studio, I mean, you see behind me there's a couple of keyboards. Well,
right.
the one on the bottom there is an Alesis Fusion, much maligned, but excellent piece of hardware. That came from America free of charge because I was testing, and they allow me to keep it. So it kind of furnishes my studio as well. So it's a really interesting thing to be able to do. And
but, it sounds kind of like a dream, to be able to take that passion and actually turn it into a job.
Yeah, and hopefully, one day soon it will pay all my bills, not just a couple of the small ones. But I still have to do a day job, which is completely outside of the music industry. But funnily enough, I got that job because not only I hope I was good enough on a career level, but also my boss is a guy who any of you analog synth freaks might know is called Muff Wiggler, and he runs this massively popular forum for analog modular synthesis. Mm-hmm. And he flew in from Canada to interview me. Within 5 minutes, we'd figured out who we were because we knew each other online over many years. And I'd say that pretty much got me the job, which was very, very cool.
A very awesome way to do that too. Now,
absolutely.
Now you're not.
Just go
ahead.
One thing I want to ask. I'm interested, nice and quickly. Rob, you're a Propellerhead Reason man, and in the Propellerhead Reason community, you organise songwriting competitions, right?
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about. I'd like to talk a bit. Tell us what you do.
Well, what happened was, if you're a regular member on any forum, you know that every now and again things kick off when people start complaining about stuff, especially when it's a product that people pay reasonable sums of money for. And the Propellerhead forums on the Propellerhead website are no exception. And every year, or every time Propellerhead released some new update, there were many people that would start being very negative about the product. It doesn't do this. It should be doing this, blah, blah, blah. And the place would turn into a very negative community when it should have been a very helpful community, and it generally is. And it got to a point about 18 months, 2 years ago when Propellerheads released, I think it was version 6 of their product, and it was still lacking certain things that a lot of people had been asking for, and they hadn't delivered. And so the whole community spiraled into this, forum flaming wars. And I said, well, hey, with all this energy, we're all musicians. We all are here because we use a piece of software to make music. Let's focus that energy on making some goddamn music, please. So somebody said, some things, and it just popped into my head. Why don't we just arrange a competition? Instead of focusing all this negative energy on flaming each other on forums, go away 2 weeks, come back with some music and stick it into a SoundCloud page. We'll all listen to it, and the one we like the best, we'll try and organize some kind of prize. So we did this, and it snowballed from there. And I said, well, who's going to decide? Is it going to be a community decision? So the first songwriting challenge, and I specifically used the word challenge because a competition means that one is better than the other. And right. As far as I'm concerned, music is not that. What I like is what I like. What you like is what you like. It doesn't mean that it's better. So this was a challenge, and it was about, focusing people's attention on doing certain things to help their songwriting skills. So the first thing was just it was just a bit of fun, and we had a winner. And Propellerhead got in touch with me in private and said, "This is great. We love this. Here's a copy of a refill, $100 refill. Give it to the winner." In fact, they got back in touch about a week later and said, "Here's 3 copies. So choose top 3, give them." And that was really great, and the community loved it. So then I thought, how could we spruce it up a bit and actually make this something that promotes creativity and helps people write better music that they are happy with? So I started calling in a few favors. And as I said before with this blog, it's kind of got me into places that I would never have dreamed of. And over the years, I've made some acquaintances and friendships with people who are quite well known. So I think the second challenge we did was with a guy called Mark Reeder. And if you're an indie, a British indie music fan, then you'll be aware of the Factory label that New Order and Joy Division and many other bands were on. And Mark was an integral part of their success in Europe. He was based in Berlin, and he then started a label in Germany, and is often credited as the guy that didn't discover trance music, but put it out there for everyone to enjoy. And he released an album a few years ago, and I said, look, tell you what, let's do a co-promotion, and you come and judge my competition, and we'll plug your album. And he said, fantastic, forget promoting the album, just let me do this. Really gave his time and his effort, and the musicians loved it because he was clearly a man who knew what he was talking about. Then I got Martin Ware from Heaven 17, who's also been and produced some of the greats like Tina Turner, and then he's got his British Electric Foundation project as well, and he did a thing for us, and we've had other people, and so it became this sort of fairly regular songwriting challenge, and we restricted people to using certain products. So we said you can only use this and this, and sometimes we were really strict and said, you absolutely can only use one instrument to make an entire song from, or one sample or something. And so it focused their creativity, and it went down really, really, really well. Unfortunately, it's kind of gone onto the back burner at the moment because my day job just takes up so much of my time. But it was just great to see so many people coming up with original music rather than wasting their time keyboard bashing people on the internet. And so that's what it was, and I'd love to get it back going again. And certainly I've noticed, and I'm not going to take credit for it, but I have noticed in other places people have picked up on this and have started to do similar things. So if they got that from what I did over there, brilliant. I don't want any credit or anything for it. It's just fantastic that people are going out there and making original music and pushing themselves.
I agree 100% with you. And speaking of making music and pushing yourself, what I'd like to do today is to listen to some new music and artists pushing themselves and get your guys' opinion on it. So if we can do that today, I think everybody will be pleased as punch. So what I'd like to do right now is play the first song on today's hit list and get your opinion on it. So
No.
No.
On the hit list at all.
It is on my list.
You said on the hit list.
I didn't say on the hit list, did I?
Semantics.
You did, I'm afraid, yes. And this is first Wednesday every month. This is a Sunday.
I said on my list of things to do.
No, you said hit list, I'm afraid.
All right, whatever.
It's actually, Rich, I have another suggestion.
All right,
we should
Tommy.
start our own competition, and everybody should be out searching for where our hair has gone.
That would be good. I think it's all over at Ian's place. So,
I found mine.
there you go. So I'll tell you what, though. Let's go ahead and take a listen to the first song on today's MSI, and we'll get your opinions on it just after we hear it. And we'll hear from the audience as well during the witness statement portion of the program, obviously, but we're definitely looking forward to hearing from everybody and seeing what they have to say. So this is song number 1 on today's MSI hit list. Hope you enjoyed, everyone.
We own the night, it's all ours. We bulldog the block in our cars, loud music, windows down, find a place to park, we headed out, going anywhere. Cause we run this town, all we want is a good time, something that we can feel. Random pics and vids posted on Facebook for camera reels. People dancing, smiling, laughing, floor shaking, speakers blasting, drinks poured. We need more. DJ playing what we record. I'm smashed out and got cash out, cause stress this week been maxed out. So we here to get loose, drink a little goose. All the dudes trying to find a kid and it ain't Ruth. It's a weekend flex, it don't matter where you at. All the people wanna party as soon as we get the checks. Bust the rhymes with it, everybody break your neck. UB40, yeah, wanna make you swear we done all that. Now it's on to the next. Roll up paper flowers, have them burning in my chest. Release hit singles, got them singing I'm the best. KBlitz, go ahead and slide the album in your dead. We bump that, dump that, it go boom. Teddy Rock, y'all, all I wanna do is zoom. Nothing can contain us when we all get in the mood. Everybody coming in and filling up the room. We going hard, yeah, we going in. It's happening, there ain't no stopping it. We going hard, yeah, Working hard every day to make $1, then for some reason we go and spend it at the club. But it's okay, we'll make it back. We just want to dance, blow a stack, get the ball, leave here crumb. Something special in my cup, hands up, can't deny this. I wish everybody in the world could come and try this. Always on the fly list, party with the pilot. Keep 'em high, ain't no landing. Ladies looking for cash, guys looking for dance floor pack. We gon' party to the mask is. Get yourself a refill, ain't no empty glasses. Oh yeah, we back, another classic. Chunk up, produce like fantastic. Hard when we go in it, yeah. We do it big, Tom Hanks with a large bank and I'm running in. We going hard, yeah, we going in. It's happening, there ain't no stopping it. We going hard, yeah, we going in. It's happening, there ain't no stopping it. We party, we party, we party. We party, we party, we party. We going hard, yeah, we going in. It's happening, there ain't no stopping it.
That is song number 1 on today's MSI, and we're going to go to our panel to find out what they thought about it and see what they have to say. Here is Ian Husbands up first. Ian, your take on track number 1 today.
Right. I mean, the biggest thing, and I think it's the same thing that everyone's commenting about in chat as well, is that pulse on the synth. It's far too much, and you kind of get that from the off. It's like, oh, that didn't sit with me too well as soon as I heard it. I mean, you know, it's a nice effect, but it's used too much, and it's probably too much in the mix. Overall, them synths were a bit heavy. They did repress the vocals a little bit in parts. Although his vocals, I did think, were particularly good. He had a nice groove to them, and he was sitting with the beat really well. Very tight. Lyrically, yeah, it was okay. The whole party hook, I wasn't too sold on. I feel the hook could have been stronger, and it could have been hit stronger lyrically and in production as well. I wanted to hear a higher register voice, basically a female backing vocal or something in there, just to sort of lift it rather than sort of keep it down on that low male vocal that you've got there. It gets a bit monotonous, and you could do with some nice female harmony or something coming in there just to lift it up in that chorus and make that hook a bit tighter. I mean, overall the mix was pretty good. I thought it was quite safe. Everything was sat in a nice place, except for those synths, which were overdone. And I liked the use of reverb on the vocal as well. It was a nice reverb. It really stuck out and worked for me. Creatively, I mean, not a big fan of this genre. Have listened to other rap and hip hop and stuff like that, but not this sort of smoother R&B style. So I don't know. Is it commercial? Possibly, but ultimately I think that mix needs to be a lot tighter, especially with that synth.
All right, Ian, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Over to Tom Chianti. Tom, what do you think about track number 1?
Well, basically, I'm in agreement with Ian, especially about that pulse synth. It's really overbearing. It's out of balance. If they're going to use it that much, it should be, further back, set back in the mix, maybe a little reverb or just a little bit lower. Overall, yeah, the mix is pretty good. It could be better balanced. I like the juxtaposition of the rap style / clubhouse dance. I like what they're trying to do here. I think with a little bit more definition and the hook could, as Ian said, could be made more memorable. And for once, I agree with his choice of like a soaring or a female singer in there. Usually, I when there's backgrounds, I like them, but this definitely would have, especially because of the house electronica dance type of thing, a nice female vocal coming in and out would have broken up the monotony. It's a little redundant. It gets to a groove, and the groove is not as tight as it could be because it's a little bit out of balance, but it doesn't really develop any further. I think this is a great start. I think they've got good ideas. The vocal performance I like, especially that after the middle part where he just busts into, I don't know, 132 words and just never takes a breath. It's always impressive. And his elocution and diction was pretty cool. Could use a little bit more clarification. It could be a mix issue, but overall the performance was pretty good. Marketable, yeah, but this is still a very good demo. Needs to solidify production and find an alternative way of using that pulse synth or make something else pulse. But otherwise, I liked it.
All right, Tom. Thank you very much. Let's go over to Mr. Rob.
Oh, one more thing.
All right. Yeah.
What I was really missing in this, because of the mix of genres, the hi-hat wasn't really prevalent. You need that hi-hat to really drive. And it was there, but it was sitting like you would normally mix it in a rock mix or anything. Dance mixes, hip-hop mixes, that thing is clanging, banging, in your face and driving the beat. And that will be all for today on this one.
All right, Tom. Let's go to Rob Purichelli and find out what he thought. Rob, what do you think of track number 1 today?
I really liked it, so much so that I can still hear it going around in my head, and it's hooked. It's definitely an earworm. I have to agree and disagree with some of the comments already made. The pulsing synth sidechain compression, I usually hate that because it just detracts from everything else. You've got a lot of the time when people use sidechain compression, there's all this stuff that's going on in the background, and it's obliterated by that pulsing of the compressor, and it's just pulling everything away. And but because this track was quite minimalist in its instrumentation, it didn't detract too much from anything else. So I kind of liked it in a way. It kind of suited it. And when the bass kicked in, it was a really nice bass. It was down low, you could feel it, but it wasn't oppressive. So I really kind of liked the bass. And as Tommy said about the hats, when the hats came in, that was, oh, yeah, there you go. Now keep going. And then it stopped. And the hi-hats were still there, but they were just too low down. So I think they could have been brought up a little bit, maybe elaborated on, or certainly just made a bit more prominent in the mix. I like the blend of genre, this kind of rap with kind of Euro house type feel. I hate, again, I'm not a massive fan of genres and pigeonholing stuff, but you have to use some of these names to define it. And I kind of like those that blend. It was nice. I thought the rap itself was good. It was clever. I couldn't get all the words because it was quite quick fire, but I'd love to hear it again, and I'm going to try to just to pick out. But I did hear references to UB40, Police, and ABBA. So any song that can reference those three bands, it gets my thumbs up. So it's already got some good marks in there. Ian mentioned the female vox could benefited from some female vocals in there, and that chorus. That definitely the chorus was too much at the same level as everything else in terms of the scale, the pitch. It was still kind of down there low, and it could have done with something higher, brighter, fuller maybe. But it wasn't bad. It just needed some work on it. And yeah, I think some female vocals in there would have been nice. I thought the mix was good. It was clean. It was simple. It was safe. There was no real there was no sort of pushing the limits of any kind of envelope until the filter drop out at the end, which is a nice way to end a piece on because it kind of drops it away. It's been done, but it wasn't done badly, and I kind of like that. So overall, I really like the tune. It's still going around in my head. I want to hear it again. I just think the little bit of polish and a little bit of work in a few areas, this could be a really, really good track. And I'd hear this on the radio and wouldn't think that it was anybody that wasn't signed to a major label.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Rob. Thank you. Let me introduce that song to everybody. The name of that track is Going In by KBlitz. We appreciate KBlitz sending that track in to Music Scene Investigation, and certainly hope that you, if you're an indie artist, will take the opportunity to go to MusicSceneInvestigation.com, click the Submit a Song link at the top of the page, and submit your music so that the panel can hear it as well. All right, we've got 2 more songs, gentlemen. Let's go ahead and listen to track number 2 and get your take on it as well. Here is track number 2 on today's Music Scene Investigation.
It was a quiet night upon the prairie. Yep. And then my hound began to howl. Hair rose on my head. See, my hound began to howl. The hair rose on my head. The clock struck midnight. The blues walked in. Dressed in red. Yes, the clock had struck midnight. The blues walked in. Looking good, boy. The clock had struck midnight. The blues walked in, dressed in red. Oh, listen up close and now. Tell me what you said. What you said? She said, now, give me a glass of your whiskey, that fine. I'll let it spread. She said, now, give me a glass of your whiskey, that fine. Fine, I'll let it spread. Shorty, you are right. She turned away, slipped off the money. Said something about cabin fever. Guess you didn't like it. What could I do? What I should have done. I should have been smart right then, told her I never want to see her again. I should have been smart right then, told her I never want to see her again. Call that 20/20 hindsight. But when the devil's out walking, he likes to make monkeys out of me. Monkey! Take our rest. Well, I thought I heard the wild wind whisper my name in the west. Whisper now, whisper. Watch out. Next morning when the sun's about to rise. In the early next morning when the sun's about to rise. Well, my good gal's have a doggone in a hand and dead. What do you say to her? Good. Hell, I even told her I loved her. Oh no, man. Here's why. Yeah, she's pulling the trigger and she's blowing them
Track number 2 on today's MSI. We'll go over to the panel, find out what they thought. We're going to start with Tommy this time around. Tom, what do you think of track number 2?
Well, it started off with this nice, big, huge vocal, and then the track came in and went away. Matter of fact, it's swimming in an overuse of effects. It's trying way too hard to do too many things. I had to go and take some Dramamine. The slide guitar is panning, and there's delays, and the vocal is not really preeminent in the mix. Where's the bottom? I barely heard a kick drum. The bass was very soft. I think they went and pushed the effects returns up a little bit too far. The ideas are almost there, I guess. It really suffers from the mix. As I said, I kind of like think I know where they're trying to come from, but it was very hard to perceive a lot of the things, as I said, because of the overuse of the effects. The vocal performance could have been better. It definitely could have been presented better in the mix. And overall, the thing that keeps going through my mind is a carnival ride on LSD with a slide guitarist who's got an extra hit. And it would happen to be the long song of the day. Too long, overdone on the effects, probably overproduced. Back to the board and try a drier mix, and so everybody can really hear what they're doing and playing. The stops at the end were interesting. They should have edited so that everybody came back in at the same time. The drums are very simple. It really needs a lot of work and less effects.
All right, Tom. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's go over to Rob and find out what he thought. Rob, your take on this second track?
It was compared to the first track, where I think a couple of us said it was, the first track was quite safe. This kind of went in the opposite direction, was trying to do some stuff that was very not safe, and I really liked the bravery with that. It's this kind of psycho. I think somebody put in the chat box that psycho country, that kind of stuff. I liked it because it was different. The first thing that hit me was the drums too far down in the mix. They're there, but they're not punching through. The snare, the snare was there, but it just wasn't cutting through. The hi-hat should have been fizzing in there as well. So that was the first thing that I thought could be improved upon, was that, bring those drums up, punchy, clean, cutting through. I got to about 3 minutes in and was waiting for some massive diversionary middle eight that kicked in, that took the song away from the three chords that it was relying on pretty much the entire time, and going off somewhere really different. Whether that was not a key change as such, but just going off somewhere different structure, even drop something out, drop everything out and just go vocal, or just something to maintain my interest, because as Tommy says there, it just kind of went on and a bit too long. So it needed something in there just to break it up, to wake, to make it interesting, really. So I was missing that, I think. I liked the false endings at around 4 minutes in. There was a couple of those. I liked the way that came in, because that brought interest in. That broke up the monotony, and I use that word reluctantly. It wasn't monotonous, but it broke up that constant chain of chords. I love the guitars. I thought the guitars were great. it's something I'm trying to relearn is the guitar. I never really learned it properly the first time around, but I'm trying to get back into it. So I'm kind of tuned in on guitars at the moment. I really liked the way they were used, but I thought the overall track lacked definition across the whole mix. So, and I think the definition could have been brought in by bringing up those drums, making them clean and cutting through, and putting some more musical interest there that was over and above the chord structure that was just being repeated over and over and over again. I don't think the length was too bad. It comes in around 4.5, just almost 5 minutes. But I think it could have gone in a couple of other directions just to keep everyone's interest in there. So great song, but yeah, the production could have been a bit better on that.
All right, well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Rob. And I see that Tom's over there adjusting his speakers, which I appreciate. Let's go to Ian, find out what he thought. Ian, your take.
Well, I'd like to echo what the other two guys have said, really. And when I say echo, I don't just mean echo, I mean large reverb, auto panning, because it was. I mean, there's not much. There's not many songs in MSI I'll get to less than halfway through and think I can't listen to this anymore. There's obviously an idea here. The drums were distant, the slide guitar sounded nice, but it was just a mess of sound. And all I can remember is from all them sort of Red Indian style backing vocals that were just playing constantly over and over and over again under the track. In some parts obliterating what the actual vocalist. There's obviously a story here. I want to hear that story. I can't hear that story. And, especially when you're sort of doing something so far out there and you're a bit left to centre, you've got to make sure that the point you're trying to convey is coming across. And it wasn't with this. I couldn't understand a word he was saying. Something about the devil, which kind of figures because it kind of sounds that way. I'll leave it at that.
All right, Ian. Well, I appreciate that. Let me take the opportunity to introduce that track to everybody. The name of that track is The Clock Struck Midnight by Moonwolf Project. We appreciate Moonwolf Project sending that track into Music Scene Investigation. Thank you much, guys. All right. I think we have one more track to listen to, so let's go ahead and do that today. And find out what our panel thinks about it after we hear it. So this is track number 3 on today's Music Scene Investigation.
Just talking, we gotta start doing. And if If you ain't looking to win, that's the art of losing. We gotta start recruiting for a different cause. We gotta look ahead, follow some different laws. Rebel without a pause. I ain't got time to stall. It's time to climb up. I ain't trying to fall. I ain't trying to ball just for that nice car. But I stand tall and shine bright like a night star. Bling, see me when you see me. I'm shooting up there quick, poof like a genie. If we knew better, then we would do better. Cause we ain't promised tomorrow, that's on the 7th letter. And that's the big G, only he knows. So start paying attention to who's your heroes. Hey, don't take for granted your existence, but take advantage of the breath of life you was given.
You gotta do
Track number 3 on today's music scene investigation, and we're going to start this round of reviews with Rob. So, Rob, tell me about track number 3 and your thoughts on it.
Where do I start? I want to take this artist and throttle. I want to put my hands around the neck and say, you've got the most chart-worthy song there. It's a great song. You've got a great vocal performance. You've got a great beat. You've got drums, real drums, not a drum machine. That's cool. Well, it could be samples, but hey, it sounds like a real band going on in the background there. It's a great groove. It's a great song. But please step away from the compressor. It was just the lack of. There were no dynamics in that track at all. Now I know that there's this whole loudness war thing, and everyone's trying to maximize everything and get that kind of toothpaste tube effect on their waveforms. Look, this could have been brilliant. It could have, and I'm so frustrated because it really is a great song. I could hear that. That could be any of these kind of rapper stroke singer duo type things that you get in the charts nowadays, and would be at the number one, certainly a top 10 hit. In my opinion, musically, song-wise, there's not a lot to be done there. But the production, turn the compressor off, start again, put some dynamics into that song. You've got a great vocal chorus with a really great voice there. Make the most of it. Let's hear it. Let's hear the range and the power of that. There was just no definition. There was no separation. It was all, the intro came in. It was a little bit over to the right of the channel, and then something came in on the left, and I thought, we're going to be in for a nice little treat here. And then, bam! It was, I dread to see the waveform of this file when it's output after mastering, because it's just going to be a solid bar of noise, and it really, really frustrated me because it was a really good song, and it just went overboard on the compression and the effects. The distortion on the chorus as well was just it was overcooked. It was too hot in so many places, and it really frustrated me because it is really a great song. So kudos for the composition, but turn so much stuff off in that mix and get back to dynamics, please. But yeah, that's me.
All right, Rob, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let's go to Ian, find out his thoughts. Ian, your take on track number 3.
Yeah, Rob read my mind. I think this is a bad mastering job. I think they've gone into mastering with probably quite a well-mixed track from what I can pick out of what's going on, because it's a wall of sound now. It's a wall of distortion. And there's no separation or anything. As Rob quite rightfully said, step away from the compressor. You don't need to do this. This is groove music. It's fill music. It's got a groove, and let that do the job. Let dynamics work naturally. Don't try and just get it to be sound. I mean, the guy's voice on that chorus, John Legend sort of esque, and it's obviously can sing. The rapping was tight. The lyrics were kind of cool. The hook was there. What's going on? Why have you done this? I'm as frustrated as Rob is.
All right, Ian. Well, I appreciate that. Now, in the chat room, some people are saying that they've heard this on the radio. So we'll hear from Tom, and then we'll give out the name of the artist and the title of the song. Tom, what do you think of track number 3?
I have to agree with Rob and Ian. Yeah, song-wise, this is done compositionally very, very well. The hook is nice and strong, and the singers sing well. The backgrounds were there. But I think somebody called it soupy, and again, overcompressed, too much of effects. I think Rob mentioned the distortion, could have been a little bit lighter on the vocal, or maybe double the track and have a clear track up front and then double the distorted track underneath just to give it an edge of that. The theme today, seems to be over effects, but it's all these songs suffer the most from the mixes. And they could all use with a solid, this one, I think, has everything it needs there. It just needs to, pull the covers off and let it be seen. The groove is got a nice feel to it, but it's, instead of being like one of those nice hard mattresses that you can just fall into and it supports you, it's a pillow. And pillow is the best way to describe this. It's just not clear, muffled from all the effects. And the dynamics, there were none. And it's a shame. And I wouldn't go quite so far as to wring the gentleman's neck, but I would beat the engineer who mixed it with my rhythm stick.
All right, Tom, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Now, let me give you the artist and the title of the song. The name of this song is Do Better. The artist's name is Young Hack and his group 781, Young Hack 781. We appreciate their sending that track into Music Scene Investigation. Now, we want to invite everyone who's heard this show and heard the 3 songs to file your witness statement. Yeah, it's a mandatory thing that you have to do once you've witnessed a crime or something interesting on MSI. And sometimes it can be a crime. So please go to musicsceneinvestigation.com/witness and let us know what you thought of today's tracks while we turn it over to our panel and have them determine a song of the week. So, gentlemen, I'm going to turn it over to you to argue amongst yourself, discuss the songs, and select a song of the week out of what you've heard.
Look, I'm going to jump in here, and I'm going to jump in for a reason. One of the things we do after the show is we select which 3 of the tracks should go on and be played on MSI radio. And there's only one track here this week that I really want on MSI radio. Now, I'd love to put track 3 on the radio, but we can't because it's so overcompressed. By the time you put that through our streaming compression as well, the track's going to sound absolutely awful for everyone. So it can't be number 3. And number 2, my feelings on that. I covered that in the review. So it's got to be number 1. I'm not a big fan of the track, but this week it is the best of the 3 tracks that's been submitted to us.
All right. Rob and Tom?
Rob, if
Tom.
you wish.
Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
Oh, okay. So you wish I go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, 2's definitely out, and I was going to say it's between 1 and 3, but 1 just didn't have. I can barely remember it as though Rob. I think he said on that track or number 2, it was still going through his head. But I'm going to have to, unfortunately, agree with Ian. I'd really love to have song number 3 be played because it is a better composition. But I'll go with number 1.
All right. And Rob, what are your thoughts?
Oh, do you know, I really wanted. I was nervous about coming on here because I thought I'm going to be in some quite esteemed company. I'd been through the website and seen, you know, the level of people on here, and I thought I'm going to be so out of my depth. But I'm so happy that actually Ian and Tommy both are kind of echoing the thoughts that I had. Track number 3, I desperately want that to be the track because compositionally it was great. And I think with better production and with better mastering, that could be a cracking tune. I think somebody said in the chat about, you know, it's much the same as most things that are being played on the radio. And that's fair. It's a fair point. But it would be one of the better ones, in my opinion. So as much as I would absolutely love to have that one as the winner because it ticks so many boxes in terms of composition and style and groove and everything, the production really killed it, which is I really am terribly sad about that. Track number 2, I thought was unique. It was daring. It was trying to be different, but lacked imagination. And I just don't think it can be that one. Track number 1, I think overall, whilst it had some room for improvement, I think production-wise was the best of the 3. Song-wise, I thought was pretty good, but you know, it's with a little bit of reluctance that I say that track number 1 for me would be the winner.
All right, well, there you have it, everyone. The panel has selected, and they've selected track number 1, KBlitz, with the song "Going In" as our song of the week. Again, we want to hear what you have to say about that over on the witness statements. Make sure you file yours before next Sunday, and we'll bring those results to you then. All right, Rob, thank you so much for being here. I know it's Father's Day, but we really appreciate you stepping in with us today.
No, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I really enjoyed it. So thank you very much indeed for having me.
And we definitely want to have everybody go over to failedmuso.com and read what you have to say. Check out some of the reviews and everything else you're doing because it looks like it's great work.
Yeah, thank you. Please do. It's not getting us updated as frequently as I'd like because of the daily job, but I'm trying my best. So, but have a flick through. There's lots of stuff in the archives, and do leave comments and let me know what you think. And suggestions are always welcome.
Absolutely appreciate it. Thank you again, Rob, Tom, and Ian. Thank you both. Happy Father's Day to you as well, and to everyone out in our audience. Happy Father's Day. Ian, you want to fill us in on who's going to be on our panel next week?
Well, I think you're more qualified to do that, aren't you, Richard?
Well, I can tell you, but I'd have to kill you.
You've spoken to her, I haven't.
Our guest next week is going to be the host of the #1 R&B and podcast in the country, around the world, as a matter of fact. It's going to be Susie Chase, and we look forward to having her join our panel next week. So please join us then, Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time on MusicSceneInvestigation.com. Again, thanks to everybody for being with us, and we'll talk to you again next time. Same bad time, same bad channel. Thanks for being here, everyone. Have a great time. We're going to play out with Going In by KBlitz. Here it is.
We own the night, it's all ours. We bulldog the block in our cars. Loud music, windows down. Find a place to park, we headed out. Going anywhere, cause we run this town. All we want is a good time, something that we can feel. feel. Random pics and vids posted on Facebook from camera reels. People dancing, smiling, laughing, floor shaking, speakers blasting, drinks poured. We need more. DJ playing what we record. I'm smashed out and got cash out, cause stress this week been maxed out. So we here to get loose, drink a little goose, all the dudes trying to find a kid in it, Babe Ruth. It's a weekend flex. It don't matter where you at, other people wanna party as soon as we get the checks. Bust the rhymes with it, everybody break your neck. UB40, yeah, wanna make you sweat. We done all that, now it's on to the next. Roll up paper flowers, have them burning in my chest. Release hit singles, got them singing I'm the best. KBlitz, go ahead and start the album, you're dead. We bump that, dump that, it go boom. Teddy Rocky, all I wanna do is zoom. Nothing can contain us when we all get in the mood. Everybody coming in and filling up the room.
We going hard, yeah, we going in. It's happening, there ain't no stopping it. We going hard, yeah, we going in. It's happening, there ain't no stopping it. We party, we party, we party. We party, we party, we party. We going hard, yeah, we going in. It's happening, there ain't no stopping it.
Just what we does. Working hard every day to make $1, then for some reason we go and spend it at the club. But it's okay, we make it back. We just want to dance, blow a stack, get the ball, leave here crumb. Something special in my cup, hands up, can't deny this. I wish everybody in the world could come and try this. Always on the fly list, party with the pilot. Keep it high, ain't no landing. Ladies looking for cash, guys looking for dance floor pack. We gon' party to the mask is. Get yourself a refill, ain't no empty glasses. Oh yeah, we back, another classic. Chunk up the juice like fantastic. Hard we go in it, yeah. We do it big, Tom Hanks with a large bank and I'm running it.